to continue this morning with a few more stories about the Montfort missionaries and the establishment of Daru Kiunga Diocese. You're with Mission Alive. This is Roger from the MSC Mission Office. As I said yesterday, the area taken on in what was the Western District of Papua had been part of the Ulilan mission, which was part of the mandate that the MSCs were given to evangelise Melanesia and Micronesia. And it was always on the minds of the bishops that this was part of the area they had not yet been able to penetrate or to touch. Bishop Alan de Beaumanoux and later Father Soren, who became Bishop Soren, visited Daru because there were a couple of Catholic families there. So they would visit occasionally and possibly on the way to Thursday Island, where the headquarters was at that stage in the early days. One of the families there at Daru, there's another story there, who was a Frenchman, but we might keep that story for another time. At that time too, they did explore up the Fly River as trying to make a beginning to find out, which is what missionaries have to do. And at one stage, one of the priests who was stationed in the Gulf of Papua, around what is now the Kerema Diocese, was asked by Alan de Beaumanoux to explore the Fly River. So he went up there and had a look, not too sure how far he went. The report that came back supposedly was something like he went up there, all he found was kunai grass, mosquitoes and Protestants. So it wasn't seen to be a fruitful area. So long time it did not get a start. But Bishop de Beaumanoux and after him Bishop Soren continued to try to find a congregation that was interested in going up there. Our Irish MSC province had been urged to take on a mission, and they came and had a look, and they didn't like what they looked at and said they haven't got the money to do it, so they pulled out and ended up over in New Britain in Rabaul and did some very good work over there. Others were approached, but we couldn't get anybody to take it, and finally the Montforts accepted, and they said, we haven't got any money either, but we'll go. So they did. So around about 1959, they arrived and did that. And then, as I said, they explored right up the Fly River as far as they could go. And they met the MSC priests from Dutch New Guinea, or Irian Jaya at that time. And eventually, the Montforts penetrated right up into the mountains, the Star Mountains, where there's the big Octedi mine, and the people up there, and got more result there in terms of conversions to the Catholic Church, because much of the south was already Protestant of one sort or another. So they transferred the diocese to Kiunga, and so the diocese became known as Daru Kiunga. And Bishop Deschamps, the first bishop, he had a close relationship and an affinity with the people down around Daru and that coastal area. So he maintained the name Daru Kiunga. And the mission developed from there, as it usually did: exploration, finding people interested, establishing a base in a parish, and going on with the work of evangelisation and development of the people. And this is a fairly normal process for mission, and it's a well-established diocese now, well into the renewal of the church, and many other stories attached to that. So this is our mission, to continue today in the way that missionaries in the past continued, to find out what's needed, to find out who has not yet been reached by the missionaries, and to get on with it. Today also is the feast day of St. Peter Chanel, who was a Marist in the Pacific before the MSC time. And that too has a lot of story to it, and certainly the MSCs and Marist have met and have worked together. This is our mission. The mission of the Church continues today as it always does. Thank you.